everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Data Story, your one-stop solution for value addition and also understanding the data for the particular topic that we are doing. Today's topic that we are going to cover today is electricity. So we are going to wrap up all the data that has been given across the government sites and reliable sources so as to understand that what are the numbers that are associated with electricity. The first thing that we will be understanding is what exactly are the broad numbers, starting with per capita consumption. As of now, our per capita consumption stands at 1460 kilowatt hour. Now when we are looking at it and when we compare it temporally, we clearly get to see that as compared to 2014, the increase has been of 52.6%. And if we look at the global average and comparison we will make later, the global average is around 3486 kilowatt hour. The village electrification and also the household electrification stands at 100% based on government data. If we look at it, all census villages have been electrified by April 28, 2018 and all willing, important term here is willing households have been electrified by March 31st, 2021. So here we have two different electrifications which are present. The supporting scheme here was Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Jyoti Yojana for village electrification. For household electrification, it was Saubhagya scheme. Now when we are looking at energy intensity, now this is an important concept, I will briefly explain. Energy intensity refers to the amount of energy required to get one output. Now this is where the energy producing money. So when we look at energy intensity, it is 0.218 megajoules per rupee. So this is where we understand that how much unit of electricity is required to produce 1 unit of economic output. Now the lesser energy intensity, that means lesser energy is required to produce economic output, and higher energy intensity shows that we need more energy to bring the economic output. Now our energy intensity has reduced over time and as of now it is moving towards 5% below global average, which is a huge improvement when we look at it. Now let us move towards some comparisons and data as well. So when we look at per capita electricity consumption, we can clearly see that it has improved over the decade. You can use two bars to mark it and you can show that how the jump has been of 52.6% over the decade. If we look at the comparison of per capita kilowatt hour, India versus the world, when we look at developed countries, the number stands way above 3500, but India lacks in terms of reaching the global average itself. If we look at average electricity supply hours per day, rural areas, it has been shown that it has gone up and until 22.6 hours. That means electricity supply goes to rural areas for these many hours on an average, and for urban areas it is 23.4 hours, and it has changed in the decade from 12.5 to 22.6 and 22.1 to 23.4 per hour. Now furthermore, when we look at this number, we also need to understand the split between how much is concentrated in agriculture, how much for domestic and also how much for commercial. So the numbers are pretty clear here when we are looking industry 41.2%, domestic 24.5%, agriculture 16.9% and commercial 8.1%. This is the broad diversification that we get to see. Now moving towards to understand how better we can represent it, when we are looking at village and household electrification, you can clearly show that how it has increased over time using bar graphs as shown. Over the time when we get to see the access achievement has been 100% for the household connection rate, but when we are talking about AT&C efficiency, that still remains 84.96%. When we are talking about AT&C efficiency, it basically includes aggregate technical and commercial efficiency or losses. So when we are talking about technical losses, it is basically the electrical losses that are seen. Furthermore, when we are talking commercial, it takes into account fraud, theft, etc. Over the years, when we look at it, we also see the decline that AT&C losses have shown certain amount of reduction over the years. If this will be addressed, then the efficiency can also be much higher. Apart from this, the last bit that we are going to cover today, energy intensity of GDP, very important. You have to remember, as compared in last decade, we have seen reduction, which is very important, 20% improvement over the decade. Energy intensity of India as of now lags behind as compared to the world average, and then we also have to consider as compared to our competitors. Based on what we are seeing, India has made nationally determined commitment, and here we get to see that the emission intensity of GDP, the target is 45% of reduction of CO2 intensity of GDP by 2030 as compared to 2025. As of now, we have achieved 40%, and we are absolutely on track for 45% in front of us. Now, that was all for today's data story. We will be coming up with more. Thank you so much.